Okay, for the StashCraft, let's go back to our content folder and we'll create a new folder called StashCraft. This one doesn't need that much, but we'll just keep it separate anyway. So again, we want an actor component. I'm gonna call this StashCraft. Let's call it StashCraft component. Okay, let's open that up. Okay, we will start with a function called get inventory map items. What we want to do here is let's just call it get inventory items map. We want to map out what is in the inventories around us so we can grab it and move it to the stash. So we'll have an input, a couple of inputs here, and this one will be an item, and it is a data table row handle. Then we have an amount, just an integer. Then you have inventory items, which is going to be a map. And that's going to be a master inventory object reference and map to a crafting cost. So we're just hijacking this this struct, but it's basically just so we can keep track of what item and how many is in each inventory. Then we output the out inventory items. So we're going to update this list that we get in, and then we just need to say if we found everything we needed, which will just be a single boolean value. Okay, move this one out of the way for now. So let's make a local variable here, call it inventory items L, and we're going to also create another one here, local variable, we'll call it remaining amount. Set those two values. Okay, now we're going to do a sequence depending on what the user specifies as can be searched. So let's add a few more variables here. We'll call it check player inventory and hold this as a boolean. We'll just set it editable, and we'll say check storage, again instance editable. Then we'll add a StashCraft range, which will make a float, instance editable, and then we just need to add the inventory that we're going to use here. So another one, we'll just call it inventory, and that is a master inventory object reference, and we can leave that one off. Great, now ready to go. So first off, we'll get the inventory that's using it. We'll set this later. We'll get the total item amount, and the item we're going to use is the item we have here. So let's say get item. Okay, so we've got the item. We'll break that. Get the row name, and we'll make as inv item. So we can just throw it in there. Okay, then we'll take the remaining amount. We will subtract whatever we got here. We'll update the remaining amount with how much we still need. So this just checks the base inventory of this component. So checking your own inventory first. We'll put this on a crafting component, and or like a crafting bench, and so it'll check its own inventory first before it starts moving stuff out of other inventories. It's checking, is there still a remaining amount? If there's nothing else needed, we'll just grab this return node and return that we found everything we needed. Okay, next we will look at the player inventory. You can do this in whichever order you want. We're going to add an if here. If this is checked, we are going to loop through the player inventory and get items from there. Okay, so we get inventory, this one, then we'll say using players, so whoever's using it, loop through that. Then we'll get all equipment items, and we'll do it for each. Break it, get the inventory if it is valid. Just make sure that, because not all the equipment will have an inventory, I just want to check those that do. We'll assign this to a local variable. Let's call it extinfl. Then I guess we can just pull from here. We'll say total item amount, and we'll grab the item, get item, this one, break the table row, make an is inf item, and that goes in there. Then we'll check is this greater than 0. We'll get the remaining amount. We're just going to clamp this value so we don't take too many. Check the if. Now we'll get the inventory items L. We'll add the inventory that we're taking this from. So it's this external inventory local that we set. We'll take the item again, and we'll make an S crafting cost. We'll take this value, put it in there, and this will create our new entry in the map. Take our remaining amount, deduct the amount that we've taken here, can move these up, and we set the remaining amount to our new amount, and then we might as well copy here. We're pretty much doing this again. Checking, do we need any more items, or have we found everything? If so, return what we have. And then the third pin will be for looking at storage containers. So now first we need to see what is around us. We get the owner, get actor location. We're going to take our range here, and while we're here, let's compile quickly and set a default value here. 1,000 is probably okay for now. Take that, we're going to do a sphere overlap actors, similar to what we did for the auto stash. Put those two in there. You can probably copy the code from the auto stash we did, but for those of you who didn't watch that, I'll just run through this. So we want to choose the build part here, and this should be a master storage build part. Next we can loop through these. we're going to cast to a master storage build part. We will get the master, so BP master inventory. Get the inventory. Maybe just move this stuff down a bit so we have some space. We'll set the inventory to this now. Let's grab the item. It'll be similar to this. And now we go total item amount, similar to what we have up here. The rest here is what we did up here as well. So we can just copy this and stick it down here. That goes in there, that goes in there. And now we add these inventories to our list as well. Next we'll add another function here. We'll call this get stash items. Let's just maybe clean up some of these. Okay, this is going to get an input of a, let's call it recipe. It's going to be a name and an amount. Which is an integer, and then we'll have an output. Found items. To say if we've found all the items we needed. Okay. Let's get owner. Get component by class. Master inventory. And then we're going to set this inventory item when we call this. We're going to call this directly when we try to move items. Right, we'll get the recipe spell recipe. Okay, get recipe. And then we'll go SGK recipe details. Put the name in there. We'll just make sure we found it. And if we did, we'll set this as a local variable called recipe L. We're going to break this one. And let's get the item costs. and we'll loop through that. Okay, we break our item, we get the amount we want, we multiply, and we're going to say get inventory map, items map. That's the function we just created. We're going to plug this item in here, this amount in here, and then for the inventory items, let's just create a local variable. We'll call it inventory items L. Okay, so if we found the items, then we can set this to what we got out. And then we'll remove items. If not, we're going to use this return node and say we did not find them. Okay, so once we have found the items, we need to now move it. So we'll take the inventory items, we'll get the keys. So that is again the map of all the inventories and which items we want to move from there. Do it for each. We'll promote this to a local variable, call it move inf. That's the inventory we're going to remove the item from. And we will do inventory items and we will find that item. We're looping through it, so we don't need to check if it exists. Break the crafting cost. Break that and make an sinf item with the amount now. Here you might want to do a global inventory to create the item. I haven't really looked into that yet, but now you will take your inventory and you're going to add an item. Add item. Only that item. Stack search. Alright. Now we need to see about removing these items. So do if there's a remainder, we'll get the inventory items, the remove inventory, there's to break the crafting cost, just to get the amount, because we need to see from this remaining amount. So that minus this, and then we'll take the remove inventory item and we will say search for item. This will remove the items from the inventory. If we just tick this one, amount goes over here, and then we can return. This is because we weren't able to move the correct number of items into the new inventory, so then we'll do a fail. Because we moved some of the items, but we couldn't move everything. We'll copy this and put that over there, and we'll remove all the items from the source inventory because there were no remaining items. And then finally we go back to the completed and we do a return node here with the found items. And now we need to go to the master inventory. Master inventory. And in the event graph, in the crafting, item crafting, now we just need to intercept this and just move items before the crafting starts. So we're going to get owner, get component bar class, and we're looking for the StashCraft component, that one, and I'm just going to check if this one is valid, if it exists, because you might not want this on all your crafting components. So if it is not valid, we just go straight to there. If it is valid, we're going to get stash items. That should now move everything into the stash before the crafting starts. Okay, so we can compile. Let's save that. Okay, now we can go to our master crafting component, build part. We can add a StashCraft component to it. Let's just make sure our defaults are set. I don't really want to move stuff, so let's just make that much bigger. Left out a couple things. You just got to return this list here, or else the stuff won't get moved. And except in the first case, of course, because the items already exist in the inventory. And then here we just need to do a check on the check storage. So I'm just going to put an if here, there, and there. Okay. Two more small issues at the storage components. I didn't hook up this to the clamp, so just make sure you do that. And here we need to remove the items from the inventory, the amount that we set in the crafting cost. Now we should be able to test this. Probably don't even need the wood. I'm going to split this iron bar, split, and let's drop 9 just to make sure we don't have too much. We'll put that in the storage, and now if you click crafting, it'll pull resources first from this inventory, then from player's inventory, and then lastly from the chest. You'll see there's one left here, and that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, consider subscribing, and see you guys next time.